Before we get into today's episode of A Waste of Time with It's The Real, we wanted to make mention, because there has been such a big demand for this, we have new t-shirts available at ItsTheReal.com/shop, and the one that you guys asked us for the most are t-shirts with our AKAs on them. And Jeff, there's a lot of AKAs on them.
We have so many AKAs because we change it up every single time.
10 years of AKAs, never repeated an AKA, and now we have t-shirts that feature so many of them, including... Yo, what up? It's Eric, a.k.a. Moving Bass, a.k.a. Jazz.
Yo, what up? It's Jeff, a.k.a. Alcoholism, a.k.a. Heartbreaker.
Yo, what up? It's Eric, a.k.a. About That Life, a.k.a. Mikey Likes It.
Yo, what up? It's Jeff, a.k.a. Pink in My Drink, a.k.a. Pepto-Bismol.
Yo, what up? It's Eric, a.k.a. The Math Tutor, a.k.a. You Don't Want No Problem.
Yo, what up? It's Jeff, a.k.a. Five Fingers of Death, a.k.a. Isotoner Gloves.
Yo, what up? It's Eric, a.k.a. Trap or Die, a.k.a. The Oregon Trail.
Yo, what up? It's Jeff, a.k.a. Romus and Romulus, a.k.a. Latin Kings.
Yo, what up? It's Eric, a.k.a. Coke and Mentos, a.k.a. Poppin' Bottles.
Yo, what up? It's Jeff, a.k.a. Buckshot Shorty, a.k.a. Bambi.
Yo, what up? It's Eric, a.k.a. Petri Dish, a.k.a. For the Culture.
Yo, what up? It's Jeff, a.k.a. Get These Hands, a.k.a. Hammurabi Code.
Yo, what up? It's Eric, a.k.a. Planting Seeds, a.k.a. Hoe Activities.
Yo, what up? It's Jeff, a.k.a. Titty Boy, a.k.a. T-shirt in the pool.
And so many more. Go to ItsTheReal.com/shop right now. Cop an AKA t-shirt. We have tons of sizes and they're going fast. Now's the time to do it. ItsTheReal.com/shop. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Eric.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. You know what one of the greatest parts of this podcast is?
Taking pictures downstairs with our doorman?
Yes. But in addition, one of the greatest things is the number of people who come up here and we don't know them, never met them before, they're new to us, and by the time they leave, we're like best friends. Honestly, it happens a lot more than you guys think. We may not know LMA, but at the end of our conversation, we're like, you're such a dope person. You're more than just your number 17 on the Billboard charts and rising, crazy, amazing single, Boot Up.
Ba-da-da-da, Boot Up.
But it's equally awesome that we are able to go and then support by going to see someone like Ella in concert at SOB's that night on a huge night for her and have more of an attachment to her. And I just love that.
Yeah, no, I mean, like it happened with Post Malone. It happened with Mac Miller. It happens with not all white people. I'm trying to think of other people. Flatbush Zombies. Mm-hmm. Like a bunch of people where you're just like, oh, like we connect in a way that that I maybe didn't expect to.
Yeah, it was really awesome to go and support Ella. So we took the train down to Houston Street. We popped up and went through security, no problem. We know everyone at SOB's. We take 2 steps into the building, and we're saying hey to some of our friends, and all of a sudden, both of us at the same time feel these hands on our shoulders turn us around, and we're facing somebody that we've never seen before in our lives.
And he says, the boss wants to see you.
And I don't know about you, Jeff, but I immediately started cycling through everybody that we have wronged in this business.
The guy who threw a glass in your face and said that he slept with a gun by his bedside and then grabbed us up, or Donald Glover,
or Lloyd Banks, their early retirement party video.
Yellow Wolf.
Yeah.
Like I unfollowed somebody on Twitter. They had a problem with me.
Yeah, so that walk to the stairs was the longest thing that I have ever been through. And by the time we made that left instead of making a right, I had no idea who was waiting for us in that room. We opened the door, and we looked to our right, and who is sitting in a chair with his fingers pointed right at us? It's Larry.
Larry,
the owner from SOB's.
And he was like, when are we doing another show here? We want to have you guys back.
And how nice is that, huh?
Well, that was a surprise. we were also like, wait, how did you know that we were here?
Yeah, and he was just like, oh, my guy's upstairs walkie-talkie me and said the white rappers are here. So it's nice to be recognized.
It's nice that he was putting more thought into that SOB show than we were, because we had not thought anything about it.
When do you want us to come back to SOB's? We'll do our 3rd show there. We want all of you guys to join us there. We'll figure it out. We'll let you know. And maybe, because we're doing a lot of really cool things now, we'll have something new to celebrate. Not only, by the way, this week do we celebrate the 3rd year anniversary
of this podcast.
Yeah. So congratulations to us.
Bam, 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 bam.
But we're also celebrating the 1-year anniversary of our debut rap album, Teddy Bear Fresh.
Bam, 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 bam.
We're also working on a whole bunch of other stuff. Our 2nd book, our 2nd album, our 2nd TV show. just a lot of great activity. We're in a great space right now, and we're so glad that everyone else out there recognizes it just like we do.
Yes, and also Dan is moving out.
Oh, shout out to Dan.
So that Dan episode is finally coming in.
Actually, Dan will live kind of near SOBs, so that'll be a nice commute for him.
A nice pied-à-terre for us.
That's right. Today on the podcast, Jeff,
we have Ella May.
Ella May signed to DJ Mustard's 10 Summers imprint over there at Interscope. But guys, this story is not that simple. It's not just like, oh yeah, let me go find DJ Mustard and I'm going to get signed. This is born in South London, made her way to New York, went back to London, was working in retail, was in a girl group
that got to X Factor.
Yeah, called Arise.
Arise.
And,
or, I mean, but it's sort of spelled like Alizé, the liquor.
Yeah, do you pronounce it Arise?
I guess so.
Oh. Well, that's weird.
Yeah.
But after that happened, the way that she used Instagram to reinvent herself is amazing, and her story, and especially the story of this single, Boot Up, is so amazing and inspiring. And
well, first of all, I mean, not first of all, we've gone through a bunch of first of alls, but last of all,
yes,
Ella is just so lovable.
She is.
And so you guys are going to fall in love with this podcast. I'm really glad that we got her on, especially right now when everything is on the up and up.
That's right. Shouts to Ella. Shouts to her management. Shout out to Interscope Records. Big shout out to Aura Harewood. Jeff, when do you want to get into this?
Right after. I just want to do this thing now. I want to say, if you like this episode, you're going to like these 3 other episodes.
Okay.
I think it's like a good thing that we can do.
Okay.
Like, still service we can provide. I want to say, if you like this one, you're going to like the Big Shaq episode.
Michael Dappa.
With Michael Dappa. I think that you will like the Lizzo episode.
Great episode.
And I think that you'll like the Scotty Beam episode.
I would agree with all 3 of those. Jeff, when do you want to get into this episode?
Right now.
Yo, what up? It's Eric, a.k.a. Too Many DMs, a.k.a. Bumbleclot.
Yo, what up? It's Jeff, a.k.a. On My Jock, a.k.a. At the Mall.
Oh, my God. Hey guys, it's Ella May. I don't have a great intro like that, but
yeah, this is a waste of time with ItsTheReal. Ella, what's happening? How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, thank you. By the way, no one in the history of this podcast, 180 something episodes, has ever taken the stairs. So
yeah,
that's really first.
We're really out of breath
right now. We're all just out of shape. How is New York treating you?
New York's treating me really well. I was actually surprised because yesterday it was cold.
Oh,
yeah.
So I was like,
weather's good.
Well, now the weather's good.
Yeah, now it's 85
Today
degrees, or what is it in Celsius? Like,
yeah, it's like maybe 28 or something like that, around there.
Yeah.
But now today the weather's nice, so it's fine. But yesterday it was cold.
Oh,
but
good.
It's treating me good.
But they have you running around.
Yeah.
You're doing a bunch of press, and you have your show tonight.
I do.
Have you ever played SOBs before?
I haven't, so I'm super excited.
That's good. It's a great venue.
but have you been there before?
I
Because you did
haven't.
live in New York.
I did live in New York, but I haven't even been there. So when I go for sound check today, that's gonna be my
That's
first
the
time.
first
actually.
time.
Yeah, so I know it's like, I was like, we have to get my night at SOBs. I was super excited to do it. So I'm
That's
glad.
amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So, okay, let's go back to the very beginning. Where are you originally from?
I'm from London. I was
Where in
born
London?
South London.
South London. Okay.
Yes.
Where in South London?
Well, I was actually born in Kingston, in which is a little bit like outside.
Jamaica.
But I grew up-
Jamaica, right? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's a little outside.
But I grew up in like Wimbledon Chase area, Mitcham area. So so that's like southwest.
I know very little about Mitcham. I only know there's like an 1800s type poem about it, about like catching a thief, like thieves are from there or something.
To be fair, there's nothing in Mitcham to really like that. You wouldn't know about it because there's nothing there. Like, but I went to school when I was younger in Wimbledon Chase, which is like, you know, Wimbledon the tennis.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, we're like maybe like 15 minutes away from there.
Does that mean you have to be into tennis growing up?
No, I mean you get opportunities to be like ball girls and stuff. At
you?
Wimbledon, no,
Oh.
I didn't.
I don't-
Someone does.
Yeah. People
Well, I
are.
had friends that did it. But yeah, it's just a lot of like, you know, we just did the stairs.
Yes.
Yeah, no, wasn't for me.
Do you come from a big family?
Not like my immediate family,
Right.
but a big family as a whole. Yeah, but
Yeah.
my immediate family, I just have one brother.
Older, younger?
Older than me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, he's 5 years older than me.
Nice. How was that growing up?
It was good. I think sometimes I say I was like more scared of my brother than I was of my mum.
What
Like,
does that mean?
For my brother to find stuff out like
Oh,
more
gotcha.
so than my mum. Yeah,
Yeah.
I want like to be honest, he's like as soon as something happens, I'll probably call him before I call my mom.
Really?
Yeah, we're super close. So
That's
Even
dope.
though you're more scared of him.
not anymore.
Okay.
Once I grew up, I was like, yeah, whatever. But like when I was younger, because he's like my big brother,
Yeah.
it was like, yeah, it was kind of scary. But
So you guys never went to school together because there was
yeah, no, he's
that
too
age
old.
difference,
Yeah.
right? What were you getting into as a kid?
I mean, I wasn't even like, it wasn't even anything for me to be scared about. It was just small stuff. Like maybe if I got in trouble at school for like, I'm quite outspoken.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was like speaking back to the teacher or whatever, and if they
were you?
maybe maybe a little bit, but my mum's also a teacher, so like I had to be so like my grades, I was a very good student,
Yeah.
because my mum was not taking anything less than
Right.
being a great student.
Did she teach
So-
at your school?
No.
Oh,
And I
okay.
would
Thank
never
God.
ever go to a school where my mum taught. I remember in 7th grade, the high school that I went to, because you start high school in 7th grade in England, they wanted to offer her a job, and I was like, if you work here, I'm not going here. We're gonna have to find another school, because
Yeah.
that's not. No.
Does that count as talking back to a teacher right then and there? Like telling your mom? Like,
Telling my mom, yeah, it probably does.
So by the time you got to high school, did you have an idea of what you wanted to do with your life?
Wait, but you ended up over here.
Yeah, I did. So I started high school in year 7, which is 7th grade for you guys,
Yes.
in England. But I moved to New York in 8th grade. So I went back to junior high school when it was
That's
like
weird.
Yeah, but we don't have junior high school in England, so it was like also a thing where I was like, what is this? I didn't
Right.
understand it. So I moved here in 8th grade I think it's 2007, and then I went to high school here. So I didn't really have an idea of what I wanted to do. I've always been singing since I was little, but
Yeah.
especially when I moved to New York, because of my accent and everyone would ask me to speak and stuff like that, I kind of shied away from singing because I just didn't want any more attention than them asking me to say banana every 5 seconds. So I was just like, I played soccer. So that was like my main interest when I was in high school.
Did you have to start calling it soccer once you came to America?
Yeah.
How
I
pissed
did.
were you?
Very, because I say football and people be like, you play football? And I'm like, no, not American football. Do I look like I play American football? So yeah, but I got used to it after a while.
But also coming to not just a different school, but a different country,
Mm-hmm.
were you then sort of like, do you have to become more introverted? Did you like not want to be so outspoken like you were back in?
The first year, the very first year I moved here, because I was 12, almost 13, I was very like out of place. I felt very out of place. I was like, didn't really know what was going on. I didn't like it at all. And I was like almost kind of mad at my mum for like taking me out of an environment that I was so used to and just like plunking me in this place that I was like, what is going on? There's so much going
She
on.
came
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I moved
Okay.
with my mum,
Yeah.
because she
And
got a job out here.
You moved to Queens.
I did, yeah.
Where in Queens?
So when the first year I moved to Jamaica, Queens. So it was like
Kingston.
also...
Kingston, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was also a culture shock for me, because although my mum is black,
Yeah.
so I grew up in a black household, but where I lived in England, it was very diverse, and Jamaica Queens is not that diverse. So like it was also like a culture shock for me. So yeah, when I first moved here, I moved to Jamaica Queens. I went to school in Jamaica Queens.
Public or private?
Public school.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that was also different. I mean, I went to public school in England too, but it was just like, it's just a completely different environment.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was so confused. But then once I went to high school, and my school was way more diverse, and I kind of went back to my old, like, okay, like outspoken ways ish.
So like
Wait, I'm sorry. Can we just stop the rest of the interview and just have you say banana like for the rest of the time?
No, we can't.
10th grade in public school in New York, they teach European history.
I had, global.
Global, global studies.
Yeah, I had it in 9th and 10th grade.
So what was that like? Were you just like, I kind of know?
To be honest, I feel like history in America is, although it's global history, it's American history. Like they teach you, what I got taught was like what America did in every other, like what America did in this war and what America did in that war.
We're very important.
This is not global history. This is American history, but just like whatever you guys did everywhere else. So I was like, there was some stuff that I kind of knew already-ish, but it was more so obviously from the American
You see
side.
how she turns her back on us and she's like, look what you did.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah.
She was American for a couple
Yeah.
years, and then suddenly it's, you
I
know.
No, my passport is British.
So you go to school. Do you end up getting your driver's license?
I didn't have my driver's license when I went to school in New York.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I just took the bus.
Oh, yeah. Or the
Yeah.
subway or something?
Yeah.
What was that like the first time you took the subway?
It was because it's quite similar to London with our underground. It's just that New York subway is way dirtier.
Yeah.
But it was like
But also bigger. Like the
Yeah.
tube is like tiny.
Small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like not that much shorter than us. So
Yeah.
like you have to either stand like right in the middle of the tube or like.
And when
you're
it's
just,
crowded in rush hour,
the worst.
Yeah.
it's a
And
nightmare.
hot.
Yeah, we have AC.
We don't.
Yeah.
People faint all the time. It's because it's like London's not really known to be that hot, obviously.
Yeah.
So I don't think they obviously whenever they made the system they weren't expecting, but like
Global warming.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like there's a lot more people now. So.
Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
so when we went to London last year, I was wearing sunglasses all around town. I was the only person wearing sunglasses.
Really?
It was so weird. I was like, if you're like a Sunglass Hut or like a Warby Parker or something, don't open a shop in London.
No,
Yeah, too
'cause
cloudy.
there's never really that much. We get maybe like 2 weeks of summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't get your driver's license. Does your school have junior prom or senior prom?
We had we had all like, we had senior prom, all of like the senior activities, senior trips,
Yep.
stuff like that. Yeah.
Where was your senior trip to?
I can't remember what it was called, but it was
Long Island.
no. I feel like we drove for at least like 2 or 3 hours, but
Oh.
it was like they had like outdoor activities and like swimming pool and stuff like that. So it was really fun. And there were other schools there at the time as well. So it was loads of people our age.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So was there any consideration of what you were going to do after you graduated high school?
Well, when I was in 12th grade, I did this program called the WISE program,
Which is?
So for the last 3 months of 12th grade, you leave school and you do an internship instead of doing like staying in school.
Yeah.
And that becomes your final grade. So if you fuck that up, then you're fucked.
So you became a ball girl.
No, I actually interned in a theater because
Where?
in Queens. It's in Flushing Meadow Park.
Yeah.
Flushing Park. I
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
Flushing Meadow.
No, well, Flushing
Fresh-
Meadows.
no,
Yeah.
Fresh
yeah,
Meadow
well,
Park. Is
yeah.
that the same thing?
Flushing Meadows
With the
is
big
like,
globe?
where the the globe and yeah.
Is it in Flushing Meadows?
yeah, Flushing
Oh
Meadows,
yeah.
yeah.
So I wasn't crazy. You're looking at me like I'm
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Oh no, yeah. Well, that where
It's
the big
the
globe
accent.
is. It was called the Damn, I really should remember this.
Oh,
stuff.
you're gonna fail.
No.
Arthur Ashe Stadium.
It was called like Queen's Theatre or something really simple.
Yeah.
But I did my internship there because when I was little, I did performing arts before I chose to just sing.
Right.
I did like dancing, acting, and singing. But as I got older, I kind of figured that singing was my favorite part of the three. But yeah, I interned in a theater where they did like little shows and stuff like that. So I would do. I would just help out like wherever needed help, the backstage stuff or whatever, which was really, really cool because I hadn't been in theater in a while.
Right.
And then at the end of the internship, you do a big presentation for your class. That's how you get your grade.
Yeah.
And I actually got an A+. So
Oh.
my whole
Awesome.
senior year, I got an A+, which was great.
Yeah, that's super dope.
Yeah.
In high school, were you doing any extracurricular activities?
Other than soccer, no.
Wow.
Yeah, no.
So you didn't like do any of the school plays? weren't
We
singing?
didn't really we didn't have a big arts department in my school because it was quite a small school.
Yeah.
And it was quite new. The first graduating class was 2008.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, we didn't have I graduated in 2012.
So your high school class was how big?
It wasn't that big.
Yeah.
We had 3 academy, it was split into 3 parts,
Mm-hmm.
and there were 3 classes in each part. So if there's 30 kids in a class, that's 90 times 3, which is going to show
Not
how
very
bad
big.
my math skills are because I don't know what that is.
Oh,
But,
I was gonna tell you it's 270. I just wanted to
Okay.
see if you
Yeah.
know.
So yeah,
Yeah.
it was small.
Yeah.
It was a small school. But I didn't really I kind of knew I wanted to go back into singing or something around there, but I wasn't that sure until I moved back to London when I was 17. So after I graduated,
Right.
and then I went to school for music. So then that's when I knew.
You walk the stage at high school graduation,
Mm-hmm.
and you're on the first thing smoking back to.
Yeah, I think I left.
England.
I think my high school graduation was I want to say the middle of June or the start of June, and I left in July.
Wow.
So yeah.
To do what? Why? Did you think about going to college in the States?
Yeah, I actually wanted to, but my mum was leaving, so I had to leave. Again,
Yeah.
it's like when she came to New York, I had to come with her, and then when she was leaving, I kind of just had to go with her as well.
And she came here for a job,
Yes.
and then she left here for another job.
Yeah, but
Okay.
she wanted me to at least finish high school.
So how many times during a calendar year during high school would you go back to London?
I only went once in 9th grade. From the whole time that I moved, the 5 years that I was here, I only went once. Yeah.
So what was that like returning after those 5 years?
It was really cool because I still I still spoke to my friends that I had.
You had
before I
Facebook
moved.
or
Yeah.
different ways to stay in touch.
I had all of that stuff, so it was easy. But it was almost like I didn't really know where I was though, because I I moved when I was 12, so, and I'd never really taken the underground by myself or anything like that, whereas I did that all over here. Like those major years of my life I did over here.
So like, it's different to be like an adult,
right?
You know, in London.
So when I went back in 9th grade, it was a little bit weird because obviously I was traveling by myself and I hadn't done that in London before, but my friends were all used to it, so I was just like, okay, I'll just go with them, they know where they're going. And then so it was different. But when I moved back when I was 17, it was even like, it was weirder because I had to really learn London again.
Was it like second nature when you stopped on the sidewalk and looked like, for traffic?
Do you know what though? The weirdest thing is I didn't ever get used to looking the right way in New York because I still look the wrong way when I'm in America. I think that's just like, I think England is obviously the first nature. Like I look the wrong way when I come to America, and I still do it. So I never got used to it.
Well, what's right and what's wrong, right?
Yeah.
As long as I don't get run over, we'll be fine.
You get back to England, and what's the first order of business? Like, what are you going to do with your life?
Right. I had to find a job. That was the first order of business.
And what'd you find?
Topshop.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was
folding
my first.
Or cashier? Or...
I was in the sort room, which is the place where once you've tried on the clothes and you don't want it, it goes into this little room and you have to sort it out and put it back on the floor.
Oh.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Very, very fun.
Were you good at it?
I was great at it when I cared. After a while, I was like, this is just long. I don't want to do this anymore. But I was there I think I was there for 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
You make it sound like jail.
I know. Did you get a promotion?
No, after I found that job, because that was in the summertime. So I moved back in July and I got that job in August. But I had to find school.
Yeah.
So I was only working part-time because I was in school.
University?
So in England, we have this, what you guys call college.
Yes.
Is our university. But we have college, which is technically
an associated school.
It's almost like, okay, so you start high school in year 7 in England, but you finish in year 11, whereas over here you finish in year 12.
Yes.
You finish in 12th grade.
Yeah.
So college is for 2 years. So it's almost, college is 2 years and university is 3 years in England. Whereas high school over here, you have an extra year and 4 years in college.
Right.
So it all works out to be the same thing. It's just split up differently.
But you'd already walked the stage here and had to go back to school.
I had to basically do an extra year.
By the way, your math is good.
Yeah, because I was just like, I'm so fucked up right now. I'm just like, wait, what?
Yeah, it's a little bit confusing, but at the end of it, like, it all works out to be the same thing. They just split it up differently.
Right.
But yeah, I had to basically do an extra year in England because of the difference in qualifications. But it was fine. I did. When I first went back, I just did a music course that was just very basic. We did like performances. They taught us about music business. And stuff like that. And then I went to university, so you guys' college,
yes,
which was for music also. But I only ended up doing 2 years because I got signed after.
Okay. So what are you doing in those 2 years that gets the attention of a record label?
So in the...
Just spamming links on Twitter.
In the first like year or year and a half, I was in a girl group.
Arise.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Because I'm in the Arise hive.
Yeah, I was. So we were. I never like. If you would have asked me, I don't know, before it happened, I would have been like, I would never be in a girl group.
Well, real quick, you come to New York for your formative years. What are you listening to while you're in New York? Because it's very different from music back home.
It is different, but because America,
especially at that time,
But we listen to American music a lot in England. Like the radio plays more so, especially back then. Yeah, they played more so American music than in England. So it was almost the same. I was listening to
Chris Brown.
People like that. I'm trying to think of who else there was. There was like Kerry Hilson, like all that, the R&B type of stuff. I'm trying to think. Who else was out then?
Jay Holiday.
Yeah, Jay Holiday. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Like whoever was on the top 10 on 106 and Park, that's probably who I was listening to. Yeah. But they played the same thing in England, so yeah. Yeah, that's who I was.
Okay, so you go back home, and how do you find yourself in a girl group, or how do they find you?
So when I went to university, so you guys' college for music, I met this girl who I actually lived like 5 minutes away from, and because we would do the same commute, we became really good friends. And she knew a producer who was trying to put together a girl group, and she brung it to me a couple times, and I was like, no, I'm not doing it, absolutely not. And then as time went on, I was kind of like, well, you know what, I'm not really doing it. Like I wasn't songwriting or anything for myself, so I was like, let me just try it out. You never know.
Sure.
And we met there were 3 of us, so we met the other girl at the studio where the producer was, and we kind of just put ourselves together type of thing.
Did you know that she was going to be there, or was it like a surprise and you were like, who is this?
We knew that there possibly was going to be someone, but we didn't know like if she would have been the third person that we chose or whatever. But we all seemed to get along really well at that point. So we kind of formed this girl group, and we would we practiced almost every day. And just harmonizing and stuff, because it's so different singing by yourself to singing in a group,
right?
And then
who were you guys modeling yourselves after? Like, were you looking at like I mean, there's only 3 members, but like
Destiny's Child,
yeah, like TLC, Destiny's Child, all of those groups, SWV, stuff like that. So
702, Total,
keep going.
All of them,
Jay Holiday, and the Holidayettes, Holidettes,
but we'd practice every day, and then we'd do like these little underground shows in London. That was super fun, actually.
Not in the underground, but
no,
underground
not
shows,
in the underground, but like the underground scene that's in London.
What were the spaces over there that you would perform in?
They were quite small. Most of them were in like Shoreditch or Hoxton. And they'd only
which is like a cooler area.
It's like a trendy, hipstery area. They'd hold like 200 people, but it would never be full. It was just like real underground stuff that was put on by people who are the same age as us. So the crowd was quite a similar age, and they were really fun, actually. I got to meet people actually that were trying to do the same thing as me, whereas even though in school I met those people, but outside of it I didn't know anyone who was trying to do music. So that was fun. Then we did the X Factor. Yes, we did the English X Factor, which started off really well for us, and then completely just failed.
Well, what did it take? I mean, like, when they brought the opportunity to you, they were like, hey, like, do you want to do X Factor? Were you into it?
At first I was like iffy, but I was like,
well, why were you iffy?
Just because I've always heard like about the TV contracts and stuff like that. So I'm like, I don't know, but I'm like, let's just give it a shot, because who says that?
Because these are your sisters for life.
So we did it, and because there's a couple stages before you get to the TV stage, like you have producer stages and stuff like that. So all of those went really, really well.
Did you do the thing where you wait on the line?
Well,
to audition or whatever?
All of that is like for TV.
What?
Yeah. So they film that and whatever. But there really are lines, but those they just plonk you somewhere.
Right.
And they're like, oh, act excited. So.
Did you sit down with like associate producers ahead of time, and they're just like asking you all these questions?
Yeah.
They want to find out what's compelling about you guys.
And
like, what's your favorite color?
They never really did. They didn't do much of a backstory on us.
That's how you know you're gonna go home.
Right, exactly. Basically, because when they do your backstory, you're like, okay, she's making it to the end. But we did the first round in front of the judges. We got 4 yeses, so we were like, oh, we're excited. Everyone was really excited. And then the second round, when we got to the arena stage, we got 4 no's. So it was the complete opposite.
Oh my god.
But I think that I always say, like, they do stuff to just fill space. Obviously they need a certain amount of people and whatever. So
why did they say no to you guys, besides the fact that you didn't want to be in the group?
They didn't just say no, they said no.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just like, oh, okay, like that was a complete change of events. But I didn't actually, to be honest, I can't even remember why they said no, because the performance was, like, to what I remember, wasn't bad. But I think it's just one of those things, like, they already have in their mind who they want, so they kind of.
Did you do an original song or a cover?
We did a cover. We did a cover both times. The first time we did a cover, when we got 4 yeses, we did a Little Mix song, who came from X Factor. And then
how predictable.
I know. But they said yes. And then when we got to the arena, I can't remember what song we did. I want to say I think we did a Destiny's Child song, actually. Yeah, and we got no's. So
did you do no?
No. We should have done no. We didn't. But yeah, no. It was a good experience though. Like, to actually see what TV was like.
Did people recognize you on TV? Like, did you get hit up by a bunch of people being like, "Oh my god"?
Not really. We weren't on it for long enough, I think, for people to really be like, "Oh, you guys were on X Factor." They didn't even show our second audition anyway. They only showed the ones where we got the yeses. So people were just wondering, like, where did you guys go?
Were you surprised?
We in the Arise Hive were very.
We just disappeared.
Yeah. Were you surprised at yourself how quickly you went from "I don't want to be in a girl group" to "Oh, I'm in a girl group and I'm auditioning for"? I was very surprised at myself. I was kind of like, who am I? But after X Factor,
we did a couple more shows, and then we were like, okay, we don't think that. It was like a mutual decision to be like, you know what, I think we should go our separate ways. And the girl who I was really good friends with, she left college I think she wanted to pursue something else. And then the other girl, I'm trying to remember well, she was a little bit older than us anyway. So I think she just had different plans anyway. So we all just decided mutually to split up, and we kind of went our separate ways. And that's when I started to do my Instagram covers, which were 15 seconds. And that's then how I got discovered.
Right.
So in those 2 years of being in school, I just randomly started to do Instagram covers because I was like, my family know I can sing, my friends know I can sing, but like, what am I doing to show the world? Obviously, X Factor didn't go well, so I have to try and reinvent something. And that's how I got found. DJ must have found me on Instagram.
But okay, so you start uploading them, and they are only 15 seconds, and it's like you have 500 followers or something like that, like something like very small.
Yeah, it was just like people I'd either like my friends, family, or people I'd like come across a couple times, and they followed me, and I followed them.
And then when do you start to see like things start picking up? Like,
it was my very first video, which is really crazy, but the very first video I did was Fetty Wap 679.
Yeah.
And the Shade Room reposted it. So they have however many million followers that they have.
A lot.
And then that was the only video I had on my page though. So people were coming under like in the comments and like, can you sing this? Can you like giving me requests basically? And I was just like, oh my God, I kind of have to do these. So I just kept making the videos maybe like every 2 days. Did like Throwback Thursday stuff and stuff like that. Yeah. And that's honestly how at the time I didn't really know that it was going to bring me to where I am right now, but I just knew I kind of had to keep going. So.
Did 15 seconds seem like a short amount of time, or did it seem like a challenge that you were like, let me see what I can do in those 15 seconds?
Yeah, it was kind of a bit of both, because I was like, I have to do something that's going to catch people's attention, obviously, because it's only 15 seconds. But it was also, I think, a bonus, because it made people like, it was a kind of a mystery of like, okay, these are only 15 seconds. I want to hear her do a whole song or something like that. And I never really completed them. I literally just only did those 15 seconds. So people were wondering like, okay, where's the rest? Can you do some covers on YouTube? Can you do a full length? Like I still to this day get people like, can you do a full length of this cover? Blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. But
can you do a full length of Jay Holiday's second
You're obsessed with Jay
single?
Holiday.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, I think it'd be so awesome if you went on stage and just played 15 seconds.
No, to be fair, I was saying like we should bring those back somehow. We're trying to, because it's like I still have them on my Instagram, because it's just like that's how I started. So
we went.
Yeah. By the way, you don't have that many things on your Instagram. Like, how often do you delete shit?
I don't actually even post that much, but I have been archiving a few things lately. So maybe once a week.
Yeah. We went and saw Swiss Beats perform at this private event like 5 years ago or something like that, and he just performed hooks, like all the hooks that he was on, he did that.
Wow.
And it was awesome. It was just like one after another
and then we also saw Busta Rhymes one time, and he was just like cutting songs off like real quick, and he was just like, we got hits.
Yeah, but that's the thing, when you see it like that, you realize how many different, like if you can do a whole show and just do hooks, like you're extremely successful.
Totally. There's a lot of times when people are just like, I don't want to hear your second verse.
Right. And some people can't even do 2 whole songs at a concert, so just be able to do hooks is crazy. That's crazy.
I can barely do it. I'm very out of shape.
So okay, when did you realize that Shade Room had reposted your video?
My best friend that lives here called me, and he was like, the Shade Room just reposted you. And at the time I wasn't that familiar with the Shade Room, because I feel like it was when they were just starting up, because they already had like millions of followers, but like everyone didn't know them the way they know them today.
Right. They weren't like a household name the way they are today.
Yeah. So I was like, I kind of had to do my research, and then I saw the actual post and saw like the comments and stuff, and I was like, wow, this is big. And then I saw people coming to my page and requesting different songs and stuff. So I was like, okay, this is kind of a big deal.
When does your mother understand what those 15-second videos mean?
Probably today. Like I don't think she realized either what it was doing, because at the time I honestly didn't realize what it was doing. I just knew that I should keep doing it, whatever it was. But she, even to this day, she's like, I can't, like, she can believe it, because she's known that I've wanted to do this all my life, and she's like my biggest fan. But it's still like super surreal to her. Yeah. That, especially that I started off of Instagram, because I was that one person as well that was like, that stuff doesn't happen. Like, you don't get signed off of YouTube, you don't get signed off of
you don't work for X Factor.
Yeah, you go sit in a line and wait for people to say no.
But then it happened to me. So
DJ Mustard reaches out.
Yes.
is it like a DM or something? What did he say in the DM? And like, also, how many other DMs were you getting?
I had a few from different people, but Mustard was the only one who was like serious, like the conversation kept going type of thing. A lot of people would just be like, oh, you're dope, or just showing like love, showing appreciation, but never, it wasn't really like, oh, we want to work type of thing. Mustard was the first DM he said was, what's your situation? And I was like,
What does that mean?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't have a situation.
Yeah,
I'm singing
college
in my
graduate?
bedroom.
Like, yeah.
I knew what he meant. Like, he meant, do I have management or anything
Right.
for me to reach
I would
out?
have like an existential
elsewhere.
crisis. Like, what is my situation?
Yeah.
Well, that was the issue, because
Yeah.
I was like, I don't have a situation, but if I reply to him, I don't have a situation, he might not reply back to me.
Right,
So I was
right.
like, I kind of just went on a whim and was like,
It's complicated.
Just like put like a
Facebook
vague
relationship
emoji.
status. I literally said to him like, oh, I don't really have a situation right now. I'm just in school and making these videos, and I just like love to sing type of thing. And that didn't deter him. So I was like, okay, this might be something. And he was like, how he wanted to work. He wanted to get into a session. And maybe about a month after that, because the conversation kept going, but then obviously it stopped at some point. And then a month after that, I was here in New York, and he was in Made in America, doing Made in America festival in Philly.
In Philly,
yeah.
yeah.
So he drove from Philadelphia and was like, oh, what are you doing on Friday? I booked a studio. Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I will be there.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what I'm doing. And that's how we met. So it was literally through the DM.
And
Wow.
what do you do in that studio session? Is it like just a chance to get to know him, or is it actually like, hey, let's work?
Yeah, we were working. So I was like kind of scared, because I didn't know what to expect from him, because I didn't want him to walk in the room and just be like a complete asshole.
Right.
But he was the complete opposite, honestly. I didn't have management, so I brung some of my friends with me, like, which was probably super unprofessional, but like, I didn't want to go by myself.
Wait, did you say that those were your managers? You're like,
No,
all 5 of them are my managers?
I was only 3, and I told him like, oh, these are my friends. But he was like talking to my friends, everything. He was super chill. But he just basically had a whole folder of beats and was like, pick whatever you want and do whatever you want with them. I think he just wanted to see how I worked, like watch my process.
Yeah.
So he was in the room the whole time, but he wasn't like over my shoulder like, all right, let's do this and blah,
Right.
blah. He kind of just let me freestyle, which was cool because it made me relax a little bit instead of having someone over my shoulder.
But had you been in a studio before?
I'd been in the studio a couple times, but nothing like really, really serious. Like in the girl group, we were in the
Yeah.
studio
Oh,
a
right,
little
yeah,
bit. And then I went to school for music, so there were studios
Yeah.
there, but nothing like really that serious.
Which studio was it here in New York?
It was, I can't remember what it was called. It was somewhere like behind Times Square a little bit, but I can't remember what the name of it was. I don't think it was like
Not Quad or something?
no, it wasn't
Yeah.
Quad.
Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, it was super quiet. I didn't think there was anyone else in there that night. But it was it was like the nicest studio I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is like, it was really nice. It was like all wood and whatever. But yeah, we made 3 songs that night.
3 songs?
Yeah.
How quickly?
We were there for a while. I think the session started at about 10:30 and I left at like 6 a.m.
Oh my
or something
God.
like that. Yeah. And then he drove straight back to Made in America. So he had to play Made in America that day.
Right.
When we left at 6 a.m. it was that day. So he had to drive back to Philly and do his set, which even that was like a big deal for me, because I'm like, you didn't have to drive. You have a festival to do. Like, you didn't have to drive and come and meet me. So I could see how serious he was. And this was solely off of Instagram covers, like 15 seconds of Instagram covers. So I was like really excited. And because we just genuinely, like, we got along
Yeah.
when we in that studio session, and the music that we made, I was like, this is the best music I've ever made, obviously.
Right.
And he was super excited about it and saying he wanted to get me to LA. So it was just like, it was all of this stuff happening at once that I was like, wow, this is really off of Instagram covers.
So, okay, that's honestly a magical situation,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, you make 3 songs over the course of 8 hours or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. The studio session
Good
ends.
maths.
What's that?
You have good maths.
Good
too.
math.
Yeah.
You walk out and it's, I mean, seemingly like daylight or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Summertime. So the sun's out and you're just like, okay, and where do you go from there?
Yeah, literally.
Because you're not signed.
Yeah.
You had this, like, you know, Hollywood moment.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, what do you do?
I mean, to be fair, it could have gone very differently. He
Sure.
could have taken those songs and given it to anyone if he believed in it that much and been like, okay, well,
Yeah.
see you later. Like, he
Right.
never had to hit me up again type of thing.
Right.
And I never thought of it like that, because I just thought like, wow, this, like, I was just in the moment.
Were
But
you in New York for, like, vacation?
no, I came for vacation-ish, but I was taking meetings also.
Okay.
But then again, I had no management either, so I was taking these meetings blindly.
No situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
At,
no situation at all.
At like actual record labels?
Yeah.
And how did you get those meetings?
From Instagram, people were emailing me. And I just kind of, before I came over here, I made sure that they were like legit. So I wasn't just meeting random people.
Right.
But because I did live here, it made it easier because I came and stayed with my friends and stuff like that. And
Wait, but who flew you out here?
I flew myself out here.
Independent.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
Indie.
you're an independent woman.
Yeah.
Wait, so after that studio session, you've been up all night. Did you go to sleep? Were you able to sleep after that?
Honestly, I can't even remember.
Oh.
I think I did. I just remember coming out of the studio and it was daylight and we were walking. Me and my friends were walking back to the LIR.
Yeah.
And we were just like, what just happened?
Oh,
like,
for your senior trip to Long
Long
Island.
Island, right? Yeah. But you know those moments when like
God.
you've been up all night like working and you're so like just pumped off all the adrenaline.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, well, I want to sleep, but I can't.
Yeah. I just remember after like walking to the LIR and calling my mum. And
Did you leave with the songs too? Or did Mustard take them?
No. He sent them to me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So maybe that's why I wasn't like, okay, he'll just forget about me because he was honestly, he was like super chill. He didn't like, there was nothing Hollywood about it at all. And he's not that person. So it
Right.
makes sense now. Obviously I know him, but like,
Did he introduce himself as Mustard or
as
Dijon?
Dijon?
Yeah.
he introduced himself as Mustard.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. I hardly ever hear anyone call him Dijon, to
Yeah.
be honest. Even his mum. I feel like his mum calls him, everyone calls him Mustard. Yeah. It's just like, it's just a thing.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. You end up taking the meetings in New York. Mustard takes the songs. Do you go back to England?
I went back to England for about 4 days and then I flew to LA.
For him?
Yeah, so he said to me, do you want to fly straight from New York to LA? Because
Yeah.
he was like that serious.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't have enough clothes. I need to go home and like recoup for a second.
Right.
And then, so I flew back on my regular flight that I was going to fly back on. And then they flew me to LA like 4 days later.
To work again?
Yeah, for a week. And in that week, the only thing I saw in LA was the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Just because I was staying quite close to it. So me and my brother walked. and again, I didn't have management. So my older brother came with me just as like,
Wow.
yeah. And
What stars did you see?
I saw, the one I remember seeing was the Destiny's Child star,
Of course.
which
Yeah.
I was so excited about. Like,
Destiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I'm trying to think. I think Usher's was. Does Usher have? I think it was Usher. He has a
He
Hollywood.
should have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
if
think-
not, then you can just make it up. Who
Yeah,
cares?
right,
yeah, I think so. But I was disappointed, to be honest, in the Hollywood Walk of Fame because I thought it was going to be this like glamorous place.
no.
Oh no, that's like the worst part of.
It's like, gift shops
yeah,
and like
I was
chain
like,
restaurants.
wow,
and-
this is it. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool.
No,
I
you
guess.
want the
do you-
real Hollywood experience. You go take hikes and,
Yeah.
No, you step off
juice
the
and-
bus and then I
Become a
was
star?
gonna-
Yeah.
I was gonna make something like way darker, but it's fine. So you're out there. You saw all the Hollywood stars. Did you have expectations that you were gonna get signed to him?
No. That the funniest thing is that never even crossed my mind. I thought we were just making songs, and to be honest, I didn't know where it was gonna go. But I was just kind of like, this opportunity doesn't really come every day, so let me just see where it goes. And because Mustard and I get along so well, and the music that we were making, I loved. So I was like, this possibly could be something.
Yeah.
but
So it wasn't like the J. Cole situation where he's immediately put in the studio with Jay-Z and it's like, all right, write this verse right now.
No, it was just like Mustard. We had a whole bunch of beats and he would make some from scratch, and then we'd have writers come in also sometimes, and we'd just vibe and see what came out, really.
Yeah. So having written 3 songs in one night and now you're booked for a week session out in LA, did you have any like fear that maybe you would tap out of ideas? Like you're just like, oh, I've used all my...
Yeah. No, not really, actually.
That's great.
I think I was just more so excited. I wasn't even thinking about what if this goes wrong.
Right.
I was just like, whatever it is, let's do it. And I was kind of like, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But like, for right now, it's happening. So let me just kind of concentrate on... I'm quite a positive person.
Yeah.
I'm quite optimistic. So I was just going with the flow.
Who stopped through the sessions?
Well, in the very first week, it was just songwriters. I don't remember meeting anyone that first week. And then the second time I went out there, was when I met Ty Dolla $ign, because that's when we did the song that we have together, She Don't.
Yeah.
And he was so cool. Like,
Right?
he's super laid back. I was like, again, you never know what to expect with people because you just, you don't know. But he was super laid back. He like just went in there and did his verse so quickly and was just so chill. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. But yeah, I didn't really meet that many people until I actually moved to LA, to be fair, because it wasn't known. like nobody really knew that me and Mustard were working together. Not that he was like keeping me a secret, but he low-key kind of was keeping me a secret.
This is just like any relationship. Stars have a DM.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so it was like quite like hush hush, but he doesn't have that many people in the studio with him anyway. He's quite like private when he's working. So yeah, it was just work.
And so when is the first time that the idea that you would sign to him brought up?
It was just after Christmas of 2015. I was going into 2016, and it was the third time I went to LA, and we sat down and we had a conversation. He's like, I want to sign you, blah, blah, blah. But again, I still didn't have managers. I didn't have lawyers. So I was literally in LA, but yeah, I didn't have anything. So like, that's what I'm saying. He really could have just fucked me over.
Sure.
Yeah. But he was that invested in me, and he believed in me. And he just, he just started up his own label. So everything's quite new to him in regards to signing people as well. So we were almost like learning together. Yeah. Even though he's done his side, like, he's been in the industry and he knows his stuff that way. But like, it was a whole new, and it still is a whole new adventure for all of us, because I'm the first person officially signed to his label. So it was
10
like,
summers.
Yeah.
And when was the first time you went to Interscope?
When did I go to Interscope? I think it was...
Or have you not been?
I've never been. Never seen them. I think it was the time that I was in LA.
Yeah.
In the time I was in January, because I was there for 2 weeks. So I think he wanted me to come in saying, I want to sign you. Yeah. But he wanted to have the conversation with me in person. And I think that's also when because 10 Summers is under Interscope, obviously. It's a joint venture. So we kind of like shopped around Universal, and then I was like, I loved Interscope the most. So that's what we went with.
Well, what'd you like about Interscope?
All the other labels that I went to at Universal, it felt just very corporate. Mm-hmm. Like I was doing the showcase in like a business room, or like a conference room.
It's all a business room.
I mean, it is all a business technically, and maybe this is how Interscope knew that they could win me over. But it was like they actually had me in a live room. There was loads of people there. Like everyone just seemed excited. Yeah. Whereas everywhere else, it was like 3 people that were like, oh, okay, cool. Like we see this every day. Like, cool, you can sing. Yeah, next kind of thing. But yeah, Interscope kind of made it like quite fun, and I was excited to perform for them. So I was like, I think this is the place, and I still stand by that. But have
you been to the game room? And by that I mean there's actual games, but there's also a giant picture of the game in that room
at Interscope.
Yeah,
there's like a corner. Yeah, they have
upstairs. Where is it? Upstairs.
Yeah, it's upstairs.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah.
There's only one game there, though, isn't there?
There's a...
they have a basketball game.
There's a basketball game, and there's also a golf thing, and then there's a
golfing?
Pool table.
I've never been to the golfing.
Well, I mean, like, it's like a
putting green.
putt thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, upstairs. Yeah, I have been. I was about to say, I haven't.
So, once you officially signed, are you, like, relieved? Are you excited? Are you scared?
I wasn't scared. I definitely wasn't scared. I think I was more so, I was definitely excited, but I was like, okay, this is where the real work actually like starts. Because I think a lot of people think that getting signed is like the hardest part, and then after that it's all like a breeze, like, oh, everything's just given to me in my face. Right. Getting signed is probably like the easiest part. The hard work starts then. Right. So, and I was lucky enough to have a mentor like Mustard, obviously, who had been through the whole process before. So I was kind of like, he could tell me step by step, honestly, what was going to happen. So I definitely wasn't scared. I was excited, but I just knew like, okay, I'm probably going to have to move to LA. I'm probably going to have like that, like if I have to dedicate my life to this type of thing. But I was excited because that's all I've ever really wanted to do. So I was like, I quit my job, my retail job.
How'd you tell him?
Well, I wasn't at Topshop at this point. I'd left Topshop and I was at I worked for Aveda, a hair and skincare company. And I kind of just said, like, they knew I sung anyway, because when I was in the girl group I had to take time off for X Factor and stuff like that. And luckily I had a really nice manager who let me, he was like, this is what you want to do, so he gave me a lot of time off.
That person should have stayed your manager.
Yeah.
No.
He doesn't know anything.
Doesn't know anything about the industry, but he was lovely. And I just left and I told them, I'm pursuing my dream. And they were happy for me. You know, I haven't seen any of them since, to be honest, but I'm sure if I did see them, no, not purposely, I just haven't been back in there, or I don't really see them. We never lived in the same part of London anyway.
Yeah.
So, but I'm sure if I did see them, like, it would still be the same thing. So I just said, like, you know, I'm leaving. I gave him my notice and I bounced.
And you moved to Los Angeles.
I did, yeah.
What is the framework of the day like in terms of calling your mom? Like when is she up as opposed to like when you're up?
It's really weird. It's like my mom will be up for work when I'm in my bed about to go to sleep.
So is that when you make the phone call?
Yeah, it's an 8-hour time difference. So at first it was all over the place because we couldn't, like, we had to get used to it. And especially my grandma's the worst. She'll call me at like 4 a.m. and then text me like, you didn't answer. Like, Grandma, I'm sleeping. It's 4 a.m. And she's like, oh, sorry.
Shout out to your grandmother for texting you though. That's good.
She has an iPad. She has a MacBook. She has an iPhone.
She wants to FaceTime.
Yeah. She'll
her
be on
Instagram is popping.
She'll be on FaceTime. Like, all I can see is the top of her head. But I'm like, I get it. You're trying. I get it.
Is Grandma on Instagram?
No, she's. I hope she's not. I don't know, but I know she's on Facebook.
Oh, she is.
Yeah.
Does she leave the Facebook comments where she says like "Love Grandma"?
No, I don't have a Facebook, like my own actual Facebook page.
So what's she doing on Facebook?
My mom has a Facebook, and she has a Facebook, and everyone else in the family has.
You
a
act
Facebook,
like Grandma can't have friends.
My grandma has a better social life than I do. Yeah, she's out all, like, I'll call my mom sometimes, and it will be like 8 p.m. and I'm like, "Where's Grandma?" And my mom's like, "It's Sunday. She's at church. She's at a banquet. She has a better social life than I do."
They're gonna be like a KOD.
No, she's not. She's definitely not at KOD. She's a woman of God.
So okay, you moved to Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. Were you comfortable in Los Angeles?
At first, no. At first, I hated it.
Hated it.
Yeah.
Because
it was just so different, especially living in London and living in New York, which
public transportation.
They're quite similar in this. Yeah. And then going to Los Angeles and having to drive everywhere, and just like, there's hardly any human interaction. You can literally go the whole day without speaking to anyone because you're in your car, or, there's just like walking down the street in New York or in London, strangers will say hi to you sometimes,
right.
or like you just,
or like say like weird things to you.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
Or like curse you out or whatever, but it's still human interaction.
Yeah.
Like in LA, I was just like, I can see how it gets like really lonely sometimes for people, because they're like, sometimes you're just by yourself all the time. Mm-hmm. And luckily I moved with my brother, so I had my brother.
Yeah.
But
that's the only human interaction.
Well, other than like when I was at the studio, but I didn't really like, we didn't know anyone in LA. We didn't have friends, so it was just me and my brother literally, and then obviously my team, Mustard, and everyone like that. So that was just where I would always be in the studio, really, until like I've been there for almost 2 years now. That's
also weird too, because studio culture is mostly like overnight stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like
during the
you
day,
have no one to talk to during the day, and then you hang out at night, which isn't like a social thing.
Yeah.
It's just like,
so it was quite weird for me at first. Especially because even though I'd been there before, like on vacation, so to speak, it's completely different when you move somewhere. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really know much about, like, we were looking at the like different areas to live in and stuff, and I'm like, I know nothing about this. So Mustard was really my main point of reference. Like, can you help me find somewhere to live? Like something like all of that stuff.
And did you Uber everywhere?
At first we had to Uber everywhere, yeah. But I have my British license, my English driver's license, and
which doesn't work here.
No, it does.
Oh,
you can drive. You can drive on an English license for a year in America.
Really?
Yeah, then you have to change it over. So luckily, I was able to get a car, probably about a month after I moved.
Let's be honest. Are you a good driver?
I'm a great driver. I'm a shit parker. I can't park, but I'm a great driver.
On the right side of the road.
Yeah, on the right side of the road.
Okay.
The funniest thing is
the correct side of the road.
When I first learned how to drive in England, I got my license, and then I only drove once after that. I didn't have a car in England because like you can take the bus and everything. Yeah. So I wasn't like, it didn't make a difference to me because I'm actually used to now driving in America. So probably if I went home and tried to drive, I'd be confused.
Yeah.
But my mum knows how to do it. My mum like will switch on and off really quickly, and she can drive anywhere she is, but I don't have that luxury, unfortunately.
Has your mom been to visit you in Los Angeles?
She's about to visit me when I go back. Yeah, so she hasn't been yet, but I'm super excited.
Yo, take her to the game room.
Yeah,
I will if they let me.
So we have to skip ahead a bit, I think, because you have to get out of here in a little bit.
Yeah.
So you put out 2 EPs. And then you put out the third one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Talk about the expectations of the first two and the third. Like, talk about your growth under all of this.
Yeah. So the first and second EP the first EP I put out when I was signed to just solely Mustard, because I was in a production deal at first. And there wasn't really any expectation for it, to be honest. We just kind of were putting out music that we believed in and we put it out hoping that people would like it, but we didn't have like any type of expectation. We just put it out, and luckily, people responded really well to it. So we were excited, and then we went and did my label deal, and we put out my second EP, which is Change. And that one, I still wouldn't say there was expectation for it, to be honest, because I was still very new. But we were still very excited the way it was received, because it was received very, very well. And in these EPs actually were made in the time that I was going back and forth before I moved to LA. So they weren't made as EPs, they were just made as the songs that we were making, and we kind of just put them together. But we had that much, because I said all I would do was literally be in the studio. We had so much content that we were like, we've got to somehow put this out. We didn't want it to go to waste. And I still have songs from those times that we haven't even put out, we haven't even touched, but they'll probably never see the light of day. So the first and second EPs, there wasn't that much expectation, but I was getting a good response from fans, and even from like people in the industry, which was super exciting, because there were people that like I've grown up loving, and people who are new school R&B people and old school, anyone, but just like I was getting a lot of recognition, so that was exciting. And then we put out the third EP, Ready, as soon as I started touring with Kehlani. So that one, I feel like there was a little bit more expectation because I was on tour, but even so, there was I've never ever felt pressured by my label to be
make
like,
a hit.
This is that we have deadlines.
Well,
we need to do
that's
this.
what makes Interscope extremely special and extremely rare, is that they let an artist grow.
Artist development is like super rare.
And it almost doesn't even exist anymore the way it used to back in the day. But I had plenty of time, and I still think I'm definitely still growing, but
no,
especially I hope not in height, because I'm too tall already, but especially with Mustard at my side as well, it's been a very special process. And the third EP was super fun, and I started touring. And because it was so new, I was like, maybe I shouldn't put any of it in the set. I wasn't sure, because I was like, no one's gonna know. And like, even though in a lot of the markets, I'm like, I didn't expect anyone to know me, but that every single market we did, there was at least 5 people, I want to say, and if they didn't know me, they were like, intrigued and wanted to hear what I was doing. All of the EPs didn't really have any expectation, and they did, I think, way more than we ever expected, to be honest. But
so Boot Up came out like a year ago.
Yeah, on the third EP.
Well, you know what though? A lot of people are calling it the song of this summer.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And when it came back to In Conversation, which was probably in, I don't know, like maybe February or March, this is starting to get big, and I'm like, how? This song is a year, like I was the same as just like when everyone else is like, this song is a year old, like how does that happen?
That's so dope though.
Well,
but
how did the conversation like reach you?
So it started in San Francisco with a DJ called Big Von, who
shout out Big Von.
Who got requested in a party that he was DJing at by a guy. And at the time, when they first had the conversation with me, I never knew it was a guy who requested it, which made it that much.
Brother.
Maybe it was. But no, he called Mustard basically and was like, I played, because they have a good relationship, so it's like, I played your artist's song last night in the club and it went crazy, and like he said he honestly hadn't heard it before, and he was playing it off of the fact that this person who requested it comes to the club every week. So he was like, you know what, I trust you, I'm gonna see, but
wow,
if it doesn't go up, then like I'm calling you out, type of thing. And he said it went up, and from there it was just really random, to be honest. After Big Von, I think it picked up in Dallas, and then it picked up elsewhere, and now it's like, it's pretty
significant.
crazy.
I remember Joe Budden included you as like a sleeper pick.
Yeah, which wasn't even Boot Up.
It was a different song.
Yeah, it was cool. It's my song called Found, which is off of my second EP.
So like he's got a good ear, but like obviously not good enough.
No, he has a good ear.
Joe loves R&B.
Yeah. And I was my brother like loves his podcast, so I would always see it. It's super funny. So shout out to Joe Budden.
Yeah,
definitely. We've done karaoke with Joe, and Joe kills.
Really?
Yeah. Jodeci.
Really?
No, it's like so
destroys.
good.
He's an amazing singer.
I need to hear it.
It's really great.
I mean, he should do like a 15-second thing on Instagram. See who's better.
So, can you tell the difference now between pre-boot up and post-boot up in terms of the excitement around it, especially in the building?
Yeah. For sure. Just because we didn't know that this was going to be the song. Even I personally didn't even know that this was going to be the song. Like we said, we put it out a year ago. So the fact that it's like come back up, and now it's, yesterday we got news that we're number 17 on the Hot 100.
Congratulations.
So thank you.
Yeah.
The top 20, which is insane. Like,
it is.
I was honestly speechless. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, but I think everyone's just super excited because it was so organic. Like, it just came out back out of nowhere, and everyone's so excited about the record, and we put the video out and everyone loves the video, and I think it's just it's a great feeling to be around people who are so excited for you.
Do you now close with that when you perform live?
No. I don't I close with a slower song because just like the vibe is better, but it's definitely not, because when I was on tour, once we put it in my set, it was the first song I came out to.
Wow.
It's definitely not the first song anymore.
Yeah. That's like a very like bold move. You're like, here's my hit, now enjoy the rest.
Right, basically. But no, we changed it.
Okay, so one of the reasons that I'm so excited that you came over here, and I forgot about it until this very moment, but I want you to put out a song called Yo.
Because
LMAO.
Do you know what? You're not the first not about the song, but you're not the first person to reference the LMAO thing.
Yeah.
Because I think there was a lot of stuff on Twitter that people thought my name was like LMAO. I don't know, some craziness, but I like to say I'm pretty funny myself. So I'll take it. I'll take it.
Well, congratulations on everything to this point.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations on everything that's about to happen.
Thank you.
It is way, way, way more exciting when these things happen organically, and it's an amazing story.
And
thank you so much.
Speaking of organic, if you could just say banana.
How did I know this was going to come back up? I actually will say it. Banana.
Congratulations, and
Thank
we'll see
you
you at
guys.
SOBs
Thank
tonight.
you. Yes, can't wait to see you.
Thanks everyone for listening to this new episode of A Waste Time with It's The Real. Jeff, people want to find out more about us. We are It's The Real. If people want to find out more about this podcast, this 3-year-old podcast called A Waste of Time with It's The Real, if people just want to know the difference between us and everybody else, where can they go?
You can always go to ItsTheReal.com, ItsTheReal, no apostrophes, no spaces. Go to ItsTheReal.com/shop for all of our merch.
Yes.
If you want to find our podcast, all of our old episodes, all of our new episodes, you can always go to iTunes and search for A Waste of Time with It's The Real, or go to SoundCloud.com/A Waste of Time. You can also find all of our music. Teddy Bear Fresh is now 1 year old.
Hey.
Our album with our lead single Sugar High featuring Currency and Smoke DZA.
Hey.
That is on all streaming platforms, including
Spotify and Tidal and Audio Mac and SoundCloud and just everywhere, right?
Google Music, because Google Play no longer exists.
You can't get away from it, guys. Teddy Bear Fresh. Go stream that right now.
I met somebody on the subway who said how much he likes Teddy Bear Fresh.
Shout out to that guy.
him.
Yeah.
I want to also say that you can find us on all social media. Twitter at It's The Real, Facebook at It's The Real, Instagram at It's The Real. You can also find us on Reddit at It's The Real, and you can find us on Twitch at It's The Real, It's The Real.
Are there any good conversations going on Reddit?
No. Well, no, that's not true. Yes, there are good conversations. I'm having good conversations on there. People have been saying very nice things about our episodes.
Great.
And I also have been upvoting things.
Wonderful.
And whatever.
Thumbs up to that, right?
Thumbs up to Reddit.
Guys, this podcast is not going to go anywhere. Not even 3 years in, unless you guys take the time to tell your friends, family, fans, followers, whoever, about A Waste of Time with It's The Real. Tell them that you like it. Tell them that you get something from it. Tell them that it changes your mood. Tell them whatever you want. Lie to them. Who cares? Just tell them about the podcast, because someone out there is bound to like it. Jeff, who do you think is bound to like our podcast?
Well, I want to give a shout out to Jesse, whose name on Twitter is Jesus, aka Jesse.
Okay.
Who said, "Did you guys tell at Wale to mention Carter Got Wings' height in his rendition of Hers Every Kind of Way?"
Wow.
If not, can I get a shout out on the podcast this week for spotting it? LOL, and then a smiley face with shades.
Well, so the answer is no. We didn't tell him.
We did not tell Wale to mention his height in the rendition of that song.
So that's why you shouted Jesus, aka Jesse, out.
Yeah, but he does say 4'11", but he doesn't connect it to Carter Got Wings. He doesn't say 4'11" like Carter Got Wings. Although,
do you think Wale listens to the podcast? Let's find out. Wale,
if you are listening to the podcast,
let us know.
Let us know.
Jeff, I want to shout out Mike PK, who goes by Mike PK one day on Twitter. He said, the best thing about listening to @ItsTheReal podcast is hearing the stories and journeys, and I see my journey is similar to some of the best. I'm not there yet, but I know I'm on the right path, and that is what we love to hear, guys. If there's any inspiration, if there's any laughs, if there's anything you can take from this podcast, we know we're doing our job. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for stopping us on the subways. Thank you for stopping us on the streets. Thank you for emailing us, texting us.
Yeah, for saying hi to us at Duce Palooza.
Honestly.
And offering up Duce for us, even though I don't drink, and I don't think you do either.
It still means the world to us. Shout out to everybody who lets us know that you appreciate our work. 3 years of this podcast, and we're not stopping. And there's a new episode coming in just a couple of days with Swiss Beats the Monster. As always, guys, now for real.
God damn it!
We'll see you guys next week.